It looks like we are in for another cool day across the Mid-South, at least compared to what has been seen already earlier this week. We may end up in the 90s in a couple of spots, but most of us in the upper 80s today, below average firmly throughout the region, as temperatures are currently at 77 right now. Taking a live look at our Cordova camera. Still a bit of cloud cover here, but it is comfortable. 77 feeling like 79. The dew point at 64. Not too many times so far this month, or at least recently in the last few weeks, have we seen dew points below 70 degrees to start off the day. Hopefully it stays below that mark for more comfortable conditions. Again, I think like yesterday is going to be a pretty good analog. East-northeast winds at 14 miles per hour. Still a bit breezy, and that is going to be the main reason we still do stay a bit on the cooler side here. Again, relative to what we have seen and what is typical this time of the year. Everywhere else in the region, lower to mid-70s. We're getting a little bit closer to the upper 70s, 80 mark in Clarksdale, 78 right now there. But regardless of how warm we get, how much of a split there is seen across the region by this afternoon, I think all of us are going to be below the average high of 92 degrees. Maybe 90 to 91 is about as high as we get in a few select spots. Most of us still in the 80s. So far in Memphis, we have had the lows check out exactly where they should be at 74. 104 the record set in 1901. Nowhere near that is where the high temperatures values will be falling today, and neither will the heat index. It's looking very comfortable. No precipitation recorded so far this morning either. I think that will end up being the case for about 95 to 99% of the area. A few little sprinkles here, I think, throughout the next few hours may be possible along the line of where there is a stationary front located. We have that drawn out here on the clouds and radar, that path it sort of has taken, or the shape it sort of has, with those bordering zones of warmer air to the south and colder air to the north. A little bit of some moisture and pockets of rainfall has managed to develop as a result about as far east as northwestern Alabama. But we will be watching for maybe just a few little sprinkles to extend into a few Mississippi counties as a result of that front taking its very sweet time moving out of the southern United States and eventually sort of towards the eastern seaboard. But temperatures and the heat indices themselves will not be affected even by those of us that are closer to that stationary frontal boundary, as more humidity is not going to be a case here as we head into a heat index of about 92 by later this afternoon. That's with a high of 89. So just a 3-degree difference between what it feels like and what it actually is recorded at outside. One of the lowest, smallest margins, I should say, that we have seen so far in the month of July when it comes to those readings. So overall, a very comfortable day, lots of sunshine, a few high clouds, and maybe, again, just a little bit of a sprinkling of rainfall over the next few hours in Mississippi. But really, other than that, it's going to be pretty much about as ideal of a day as you can ask for late July. Our models are continuing that dry forecast here for later tonight and into most of Friday as well. Chance of some showers, maybe a little bit higher and certainly a bit cloudier, although temperatures are going to be around that same range, upper 80s, lower 90s. Saturday is where things start to change, both in terms of rainfall, which, as you can see, starting off early, we may have a few showers and storms, and a chance of which that could persist throughout most of the day. I don't think a washout is in store, but definitely a bit more rain than what we have seen over the last 2 days, and more rain than what we will see here for the next couple of days afterwards, because by Saturday evening and Sunday morning, we're looking drier, sunnier, and I think that is going to be a mainstay of the forecast as we head into the following week, though, with much higher temperatures expected. So any rain that does manage to occur today will just be a few sprinkles, and then Saturday, nothing that is going to be at least partially because of what Tropical Storm Bertha is bringing to a few sections of the Gulf Coast. We are not that far away from the tropical system, as you can see. About the length of Mississippi from north to south is that distance from the center of the storm, but it is over the open Gulf Coast now, very close to the coastline of Louisiana. It will continue to move on to the west here over the next day or so, weakening continually and then eventually falling apart as it moves inland over parts of Texas. So that is something that is, again, an interesting note here in the forecast for other areas nearby, but it is not a system that is large enough or influential enough to really have much impact on what we expect to occur here going forward these next few days. We'll be in the mid-70s tonight here as winds continue out of the east-northeast. They should be continuing for most of Friday. A little more cloud cover expected, a little bit of a higher chance of rain, maybe closer to about 20%, but I think Saturday is really going to be the main day to watch for in terms of precipitation chances. All throughout the day, it looks like we could have at least a decent chance of some showers and storms, but still, I think a lot of pockets of dry time that we will manage to enjoy outdoor activities for. But regardless of those of us who see rain and those who don't, it is going to be a turning point because the mid-90s make a return here by at least that afternoon, or if not the following afternoon on Sunday. The mid-90s to upper 90s for next week, as the heat index will definitely be above 100 degrees, as high as 115, 120 that was seen seen on Sunday and Monday of this week, I don't think is as likely, but definitely want to prepare here for another change, enjoying these relatively cooler conditions while we